Jets fans, welcome. It's crazy out there in Jet world right now. First thing we're going to discuss is the New York Jets add Trevor Siemian, a quarterback. Join us live as we discuss it right after this.
This is producer JR, and you are watching the proud New York Jets fan show. Now give it up for my boy Nick.
Rodgers is a fucking Jet. Let's go!
This for my special delivery. Spit like this, get my wrist all glittery.
Can't wait.
Get kicked, snakes get slithery. Lean in, show y'all the mean and the chivalry.
Let's make sure we play like the New York Jets.
Right jab like Zab Judah. Every member on my team is a shooter. Tight like a womb, no room for intruders. Spark, twist to the Philly.
Give it up.
Good humor. Don't be silly. It's baby. I got it all smothered.
Let's go
like
eat a damn snack.
What's up, everybody? I'm Nick, along with my chaotic co-host, Jeremy, Mr. Jets Chaos. Welcome, sir.
Hello. Good to see everybody.
Long-time Jet fan, Matthias Simon saying, I'll take him, I guess.
I'm guessing that's in response to Trevor Siemian.
Oh, I never hooked up my mic. That's how quick we put the show. Go ahead, talk for a minute. Let me get this in and switch.
Yeah, you know that pick tells me what Trevor Siemian. That pick tells me that they're just going to let this season roll out the way it rolls out. Like it just is what it is. Like get ready for a really long year. And I'm not saying that there was someone better out there. That's not my point. My point is if they were really, really desperate and urgent to try to save this season, it would be, and I'm not saying I supported it. I'm not saying it would have been the thing to do. I'm just saying it would have been a trade. It would have been some big move for a guy that's in the last year of their contract. So then we go back to Rodgers next year. But there would have been some major move. We would have, unfortunately had to put more chips in the middle of the future. But they clearly said, we're not going to do that. We're going to patiently wait for Rodgers to come back. We're not going to give away any more capital or chip at the team anymore. Clearly, because Trevor Siemian or whatever this guy's name is not a guy that's going to come and save anything. This is going to be a long season, people.
And this is where I think Jets fans are a bit delusional. There was no savior out there. Aaron Rodgers was the savior, and it got taken away from us before it even got off the ground. You're not going to find someone who's going to come in and deliver like he was. You're not going to find someone to come in and magically take us on a deep playoff run. Could there be one guy out there who happens to fit? Could there be one guy out there who could be a Foles or a Jeff Hostetler? Maybe. But we weren't finding it. Right. You're not giving up more draft picks. You're already without your number 2 pick next year. Newsflash. We need another receiver. We need a left tackle. We need a left guard. We need too many starting players. Here's my take on it. And when you guys hear this, I hope it sinks in a little bit. I fully believe, as I said to you, Jerry, in our phone conversation, this is an order from the top down. Don't spend any more assets. Don't go making any crazy trades. Ride this season out, and we will give you everything you need in the offseason to build it for a win now next year. They did that this year, right? I fully believe Rodgers will give money back again because he feels bad about what happened and say, I'm going to free up more money. Go get whoever you got to get. Chances are we're going to have a top 10 pick, maybe even a little higher than maybe even 5. Who knows? There's fantastic tackles to add in the draft. You got Fashanu from Penn State. You got Alt from Notre Dame. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. as a weapon. You got Coleman as a weapon from Florida State, who's 6'4". You got Egbuka, if I'm saying it right, also from Ohio State. You can either attack the line in free agency, or you can draft a stud, something that we haven't done since DeBrickashaw Ferguson in 2006. It's almost 20 years. You got Tittman, who looks nice. You got AVT. Maybe Becton finishes the season healthy and you give him a 1 or 2 year deal, a low, prove it that you can be the guy. Or you got to find 3 new starters next year. Brown is not an option anymore. Tomlinson should be cut after June 1st next year. We save a ton of money. And then you're looking at potentially Becton, because it's not a done thing yet. We don't know what's going to happen with him. Tippmann and AVT are the only 2 guys who could be back from this line that we have right now.
Yeah,
so
I think they're
going
going
to go get players.
I think they're going to prioritize Becton. I really do. If he stays healthy and keeps playing the way he's playing, I think they're going to prioritize retaining him. I do, because I think you can only replace so many. We, like you just said it yourself. I don't think we want to be in a situation where we have 2 guys to build around, right? So if we have Becton, I think that makes a really big difference. I mean, look, getting Trevor Siemian, I'm not complaining about it. Like, there was nobody to get without like just sacrificing too much of our future. Like, if we were to try to trade for, like, people were saying Kirk Cousins, none of that was realistic. Minnesota would have wanted our one pick. There's no way, and Kirk Cousins wouldn't have been worth that. So but the reality is, what we have to accept is we're sitting here talking about the draft and talking about rebuilding for next year because this season is over, and they know it. The management knows it. This season's over. We're not making the playoffs. I don't even know if we're going to win 7 games. Honestly, I don't see the wins anymore because we have a college quarterback, and then we have Trevor Siemian hasn't won a start since 2017. We're not winning because we can't score points. You can't win if you don't score points, and we're not scoring points. But I think that there's things that we can do, like what you're saying is we could take advantage of a top 10 pick. I think it goes 2 ways, honestly. I think we're going to go 100%. We were talking about it before. Offensive line, right? You take the tackle, 3rd round pick. You take the best interior lineman, whether it's a center or a guard. I think the other choice option after that is if we have a top 10 pick, if it might be quarterback, it might literally be. It might literally be Aaron Rodgers comes back for 1 year, and we do it the right way with a young quarterback. We let them sit behind Aaron Rodgers. And I'm not saying that's what I would do. I'm saying that's what they might do. It wouldn't be absurd, right? It wouldn't be ridiculous to do.
No. And you know, Rusty here, thanks for watching, bud. Makes a good point. You could be the team that trades back a little bit to gather the 2nd round pick that you lost for Rodgers. You know, if we're in that 5, 6, 7 range, maybe you move down a couple spots, you know, because there are multiple areas of need. We're not married to one position. And then you recoup some of the capital we gave up. I fully believe Woody Johnson said, do not give up any more assets. Or Joe Douglas said, we're not going to give up future assets because we're not going to find the quarterback to put us over the top. So why are we going to burn the future to bring in somebody who's not moving the win needle now? Listen, Trevor Siemian is Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers compared to Zach Wilson stats. I think he's got a 28-12 touchdown interception ratio. We would kill for that ratio this season, right? From any quarterback. You know, we were talking about, you know, if Rodgers has that season, that's similar to what he had last year. It would be one of the best quarterback seasons we ever had. So let's discuss Zach. I haven't been on air. I've had some shit going on, as you know, again, and I haven't been on air besides from our show last Wednesday. Take the handcuffs off the kid. You cannot play quarterback in the NFL by babying a guy, by limiting a guy, by having a vanilla offense. Where's a shuffle pass to Hardman? Where's a toss to Brees with a reverse to Hardman or a double reverse to Garrett and Hardman? Like, where's the creativity? Where is something that freezes the defense? Where is something that you cannot allow the defense in the NFL with the speed of these players to play downhill? And you saw the Patriots linebackers playing downhill the whole day. They weren't afraid. The safeties weren't afraid. You can't be run blitzing and allowing the other team to run blitz you and dominate you in the trenches. You got to have creativity. You got to have the element of surprise. You got to have misdirection. You got my favorite play of the game. Many probably don't even remember. They did a play action waggle. He rolled out to his left and he dumped it back to Uzoma for a first down. Zach is good out of the pocket. Zach is good on the run. He's good enough to have a run pass threat. Don't save it for when he's got a bootleg and horseshoe 20 yards deep. Put the kid in a position to succeed by calling plays he succeeds at. Zach, and the drive where we went down the field to score a touchdown was one of his better drives. Tony Romo even said that may be the best drive of his young career. Dial up plays that he's good at. Have Garrett Wilson drive that guy 12 yards upfield and come back and hit a button hook where Zach's got the arm to put it right on him. Yes, the ball was wet. Yes, I thought Zach used a little bit too much strength on some throws. The Garrett Wilson slant in the end zone that they missed on. A swing pass or two to Cook or Brees that was a little high and hard. So she said, they gotta. As soon as I hear it, I have to say it. You look at this team and you look at Zach. Look, Dalvin Cook looks slow as shit. Right? Dalvin Cook does not look quick. You cannot put Dalvin Cook in the backfield with 8 in the box and think he's going to bust a run. They ran the swing pass to him, and he looked slow, like he couldn't get the first down. 2 years ago, Dalvin Cook gets up the sideline and beats that linebacker.
Yeah, he's garbage. He's done.
There's
I mean,
so
he's
much.
an awful running back. Michael Carter's better than him. Van Knight's better than him. You were right. It was foolish to sign him. We threw away $7 million because he is not a good running back.
I'd rather have Bam Knight, who shows no fear and will just try to run right through you. I would rather have Bam than Dalvin Cook. I was not big on Cook. I guess I had some false excitement when we did get him because it made, at the time, it made me believe that, we're a contender and this is where people want to come. Rodgers chose us over the Patriots and others. Cook chose us over the Patriots and Dolphins. Probably regretting that now, looking at what the Dolphins are doing. 70 points in an NFL game is wild.
Crazy. Look, I'm not just to Kevin, I'm not saying the Jets are mailing in the season. I'm just telling you what I see. Like, I'm not saying that they're doing it on purpose. You could say it's only 3 games. I've been at this for 40 plus years with this team. Believe me, this season is over.
Yeah.
Believe me when I tell you this season is over. When
you
you
hope for
come
the
out,
bright spots, right?
When you come out and play the Patriots like that, and Will McDonald barely plays a rep, and Jeremy Ruckert barely plays a rep, and Mecole Hardman is sitting on the sidelines in a jacket while Cobb is our number 3 receiver, it's over. It's over because we have a coach who is incompetent and can't make personnel decisions because he is so biased to our veterans. He cannot get off the veteran bus. It's like, that's why Uzoma's playing over Rucker. That's why Cobb is playing over Hardman. It has nothing to do with earning the spot. It has nothing to do with putting our best team on the field. It has to do with a coach who's too weak to go to the face of a veteran and say, I'm playing the younger guy over you. That's what this is about. And because of that, I promise you, and the only reason we're gonna win 7 games is because guys like Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall care too much, and unfortunately, going to give us some meaningless victories. That's only going to cost us a better draft pick.
Yeah, but you want to see all those guys develop, right?
No, I want them.
We don't want to be 1-16.
No, I want them to try.
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying in general for the Jet fan.
Yeah.
You want to look for the positives, right? And what we're doing right now, they still think that they're in it because they're in it, right? They're not eliminated from anything yet. Listen, as bad as we were, we had the ball 3 times in the final 3 minutes to win the game. Like, this team competes. They don't give up. We saw it last year. They will compete till there's 3 zeros on the board. They don't give up. They don't quit. I think we could do some more things schematically and to utilize guys. Like, there was a play, I lost my goddamn mind in the stands. People were looking at me like I'm a lunatic. We came out with 3 tight ends and Randall Cobb as our sole wide receiver. And I'm screaming, you're telling everyone it's a run. You're telling the entire – you don't think Belichick knows you're going to run it? Like Randall Cobb, you're not throwing to in a 1-receiver set. Now, if you got Garrett Wilson out there, maybe you hit a play action and he can beat his guy. Maybe the safety steps up and now you got one-on-one. Can we throw one up to Garrett? I think he gets the respects of referees in the league, the officials. where he could get a pass interference. He's shown that he's good enough to break up a ball from that. He can play defense on the ball and still come down with it. Like, you cannot play in the NFL and you cannot coach in the NFL afraid to lose because you're going to be guaranteed to lose. What's wrong with coming out and letting Zach throw the goddamn ball? We're losing if he doesn't throw the ball because we can't get our run game going. But maybe he connects on one or two, and then you get two safeties back, and then you show a look, and then you run it with Brees without 8 in the box. You have to create the advantage. You cannot continuously put your team at a disadvantage in this league and expect to succeed. It doesn't work that way. There are very few quarterbacks that can line up and beat you when you know it's coming. We don't have one of them. The one that we have is in Malibu doing rehab right now. I think in a week or two when he comes back, if it's still Zach's job, I think we'll see a little bit of a difference. I think if we see Rodgers in the headset, I think it'd be a little bit of an improvement. Fans screaming now, like, you want Trevor Siemian for 14 games? You want Tim Boyle for 14 games? Let this kid play. Let Zach just take the handcuffs off and tell him, listen, no, look at Chicago. Justin Fields just said it. Like, I feel like there's a restriction on the coaching and I'm not being able to play free. What happens when you restrict the guy? He looks like shit. What are you going to lose if Zach Wilson sucks? We're already losing. Let him win. Maybe he goes nuts and has 400 yards on Sunday night against the Chiefs. Maybe Wilson breaks 2 long ones. Maybe Brees then gets going and has 15 carries for 120 yards. All that's possible, but you can't do it when everything's a check down. You can't do it when Garrett Wilson's one-on-one. If you have one safety high, you automatically check to Wilson on a route. You can't play football like this.
Well, you may as well, just let Zach air it out. You may as well try different things.
Maybe they flip and we get a free touchdown. We saw it last year in the Chicago game, right? Mike White with a noodle arm, dinky little pass over the middle. Chicago safety slips. He got injured. Wilson walks in for 60-something yards.
How sad is it, though, that we all know that Aaron Rodgers is our best offensive coach? Because we're all saying it'll get better if Aaron Rodgers is on the sideline with the headpiece. What does that tell you? That tells you that our coaching is incompetent. That's what it tells you. Because you and I know, and any fan that watches football knows, that you should follow the advice Rodgers was giving Zach. Nobody's coaching this to him. It's very clear. It's look, right? Read. If it's not there, get the hell out of the pocket. And he has the talent to do it. He's not Joe Flacco. He can get out of the pocket. I'm not saying run backwards. Like you're saying, escape the pocket. See if there's a running play there. See if there's space to make some yardage, or run not backwards to the side and try to buy some time and see if it's there. And if not, throw it away. Go out of shotgun. Play a 2-minute offense in the middle of the first quarter out of nowhere. Take the other team by surprise. Bring in McCall Hardman and throw a bomb down the field. Just to scare the other team and make.
How about a shuffle pass to Hardman? How about you put 2 tight ends? You do a shuffle pass to Hardman with sweep to him. Anything to be creative.
Anything but the crap we're seeing. But there's no point. There's no point in not letting Zach play. Why? Because Trevor's going to do better. We may as well just play Zach out. And if everything we're saying is true and what we think is true and he's a complete bust, he'll be a complete bust. And you know what? If they let him just open up and suddenly he's good, one in 1,000 chance. But if it happened, all right, now we have a young quarterback.
And Knob, this is the point. I would rather see him thrown to the wolves and absolutely destroyed than to ever have to say, well, what if they let him play free? Maybe you catch lightning in a bottle. Maybe Zach Wilson playing free, it could be Zach Wilson at his best. And maybe it opens up the run game. Because right now, you're not allowing the kid to throw the ball downfield. You did on the one drive, and we went down and we scored a touchdown. You can't expect the defense to hold the opposition to 16, 15, and be in the game late. You're going to have to score. Newsflash, the Eagles can score. Newsflash, the Chiefs can score. Denver, as bad as they were, still put up 20 the other day. They had 30-something the week before with, again, the Washington game. You can't expect your defense to be shut down. And kudos to them. They had the one coverage where Whitehead came up too far and the tight end got by him. Otherwise, that would have been our lead. We would have been up 10-9 or 10-8 after 2 field goals and a safety. One breakdown in coverage cost us the game. No one's talking about that, though. As poor as our offense was, one defensive breakdown cost us the game. Randall Cobb, if he dives, catches that ball. As bad as we were, we had several opportunities to win that game.
It almost happened.
That goes to the heart of this team. That goes to them believing in their head coach. And forgive me, because I appreciate all you guys who watch, but fuck this fire Robert Saleh take. I fucking hate it. They love this coach, and they play hard for him. The plan was not for Zach to play the games. The plan was for Zach to take a knee late in the games after the offense put up 30 and it was 30-10. The plan was for Zach to just run out the clock in a couple games. So don't tell me that management fucked up. Management did all they could to go get the best quarterback they could. I shouldn't have coffee when I do this show. I don't know why I do it.
Look, I think obviously Saleh's job is safe because his job is very safe because of the circumstances and because they're going to give him the chance with Aaron Rodgers. There's no question about it. My personal feeling is if Aaron Rodgers might come back and we might do really well and all that, as soon as Robert Saleh doesn't have Aaron Rodgers, unless we strike it rich with another great quarterback, he's done. Because unless he grows as a coach, but it's year 3, when is he going to grow up, and stop being a kindergarten coach?
Yeah.
So, but to me,
you got to put your balls to the wall, and you got to drop the hammer and be like, we're doing this, this, and this. Put it in the game plan.
Well, right. He's got to and not only that, he's got to look at guys like Laken Tomlinson and said, your job's not safe. I'm losing anyway. I'll lose with somebody else in your position, but I'm not going to sit here because you give a big salary. You get to play. Now Tomlinson played okay last week, so I'm going to take it easy on him because he actually played okay on Sunday. But this is the kind of thing that has to happen. It's like it's. I just have no faith in him as a head coach. Now, he might grow. Rodgers might come back. He might win with Rodgers. He might grow as a head coach. But right now, if it wasn't for the fact, like if Aaron Rodgers wasn't coming back, if he already announced he wasn't coming back, or if we never would have gotten him, there's no question Saleh's on the hot seat. He's only safe because of Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah, because, yeah, I mean,
and I'm not saying he doesn't have good attributes. I understand that he's a great defensive coordinator. He's a great defensive coordinator. He's an awesome defensive coordinator. He's a good locker room guy, a good culture guy. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean you could win as a head coach if you can't make the tough decisions, if you can't recognize the important personnel decisions. If we as fans knew that Joe Tippmann should start week 1 and he wasn't, he's behind us in everything. Eventually, you'll see Jeremy Ruckert finally get more snaps than CJ. But what took so long? What is taking so long? Why is he behind us? Why is he behind the fan base? Why is he the last one to know? It doesn't make any sense.
Rusty, I'm all for Carl Lawson getting traded. I don't care if it's for another team chef or a building maintenance guy. Carl Lawson, hopefully somebody calls for him. As much as I like him, Huff, you're in the last year of your deal too. I would rather see those snaps going to JJ and McDonald. And even though I'm not the biggest fan of him, I would rather have Michael Clemens as my edge in rushing downs than Carl Lawson. So if I got to move Clemens full-time to D end and elevate Tanzel Smart, let's do it. You know, we could come up with a package where Quinnen Williams lines up as a D end. You know, they do it with the Aaron Donald. I was watching Donald line up at D end last night. And then you slide all your attention that way, and then they stunt and do some trickery on the other side to open guys up. So I don't if we know this season is not going to be what we thought it would be, and it sucks. But now you got to get past that, and you got to say, how do we get the guys that we have on our roster? McDonald, Tittman, Ruckert. Even JJ still is young with the reps. Let's get these young guys up. Can Becton complete the season? Is Becton worth signing long term? What's AVT's position long term? Are you going to put Tittman and AVT at guards next year? Cut ties from Tomlinson, re-sign Becton, and then now you need a center and a tackle, which should be your first and third round picks next year. If you could find another receiver in free agency. There's so many things about this team that are good. There's so many positives with this team. And I feel that our fan base is so toxic that the fan base is going to attack the players, attack the coaches, attack the front office. And we're going to look really awful to somebody like Rodgers, who has his ear to the ground with it. Listen, he's got nothing but time on his hands. He might not comment, but I'm sure he's seeing Twitter. I'm sure he sees Instagram. Our fan base is going to look like pieces of shit with the way we react to this season because we built it up to be so big, and now we're disappointed. And what do? We're lashing out at undeservedly so, in my opinion, at the organization. The organization that we all praised weeks ago for going out and getting Rodgers, for putting us in a position. The organization that put themselves in a position that Dalvin Cook chose us over other teams. Let's remember that when all of this panic and all this hysteria. This wasn't Zach Wilson's team. This was a team that Aaron Rodgers was supposed to lead. And you can shit on the offensive line. They only gave up 3 sacks to the Patriots. 2 of them were Zach holding the ball too long when guys were open. I thought the offensive line did well. I thought they were outnumbered a lot in the run game. If we had 2 tight ends in, they had 9 in the box. We were outnumbered. It's a numbers game because there was no threat.
We were outcoached.
We were outcoached. We were out executed. We were out schemed. I think everyone in the world knew that we were going to line it up, multiple tight ends, try to run it. We couldn't get it going. You got to try something before 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter of giving your guy a drive. Give him a drive. Come out in this mid-second quarter. Give him a drive, like shotgun spread. Let's try to get down and score a touchdown. Let's get confidence instead of just the fucking boo birds. Man, I want to throw Jets fans out of the section the other day, just as much as Patriots fans.
Yeah, everything you said is true about letting Zach go.
Hey, Kevin, I want to thank you for watching. I saw your comments in live rounds. I appreciate you tuning in. And self-admittedly, he said he's old and couldn't figure out the chat. I'm glad you got it worked out. I would appreciate you subscribing to the channel, and then you'll get all the alerts from us when we do go live. Ryan McCarthy, new name I'm seeing here. Thank you. Scooby-Doo, where are you? Coaching and playing calling is predictable. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now look, if they let Zach loose, right, and we just play to his strengths, which is not thinking, right? Put him in situations where he's just better when he's not thinking. He's better when he's just in a zone of having to throw the ball and make a play. We've seen it. We saw it against Pittsburgh. We saw it in Tennessee in his rookie year. If they could just do that, if they could put him in that position, nothing we could do is going to change the fact that Aaron Rodgers is injured. Nothing we could do is going to change anything. But at least we could say this is the final test for Zach Wilson. We're going to stop being conservative. We're going to let him take chances, be daring. We're going to tell him you have nothing to lose. Your career, anybody else's career would have been over in any situation. Yeah. You've gotten more of a chance than any quarterback in history with this type of performance. You have nothing to lose. Just go out there and have fun and play football. Just run around and throw the ball and launch the ball and fire it in there as hard as you can. Throw it deep. If you throw 6 picks, okay, it didn't work. But we're losing anyway. Conservative loses.
Yeah.
We're losing either way. Just open it up.
You think that the Kansas City Chiefs are only scoring 15 points? You're going to have to score. You have to figure out a way to score.
Oh, they're going to put up like 38 points against us. You know why? Because it's already the most predictable thing in the world. We know it going into the game. We have no answer for Kelsey. No answer. Kelsey's going to have 130, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, 10 receptions. You want to parlay a bet in your betting app? Just take Kelsey on the over for every performance.
You want the bet of the night Sunday night? I'll give you the bet of the night. Me standing outside the VIP suites the entire time to get a picture with Taylor Swift just to post it, because all I do is trash Taylor Swift for some of my friends on Facebook. And if I got a picture with Taylor Swift and these women who admire her and idolize her and are obsessed with her, and Nick Shine gets a picture with Taylor Swift and they don't, it'd be the best day ever.
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit by the suite entrance waiting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm serious. Travis Kelce is going to have the biggest day you've ever seen, because we have went into every game knowing it's our weakness and we still can't stop it. He is going to tear us apart on in the middle of the field. It's going to be a joke. He's going to be playing catch with Kelce.
How about Sauce? I know
they won't do it though
on the outside, but why are we wasting Sauce on their receivers?
Because
I'd rather have Michael Carter on their receivers and put Sauce on Kelce. If Kelsey's not in the tight end position, I want Sauce on him. If Kelsey's
Robert Saleh very, very clearly has announced to the other team, to the world, basically gave this away and let everybody know, I will never change my system. This is my system that I'm going to play. Every other coach that's going to play me, don't worry that I'm going to try to fool you. Don't worry I'm going to make an adjustment. This is the exact system you're going up against. And that's why week after week they screen against us and they eat us alive 7 yards at a time, because Saleh refuses to do anything about it.
Chris, no, I'm not for that. I'm seeing that his time is limited. Rodgers today on McAfee. You never know who you're going to see at the game.
University. This is going to test us. How do we respond this week against a real good football team?
Hold on. This is Rodgers on McAfee.
From the university. This is going to test us. How do we respond this week against a real good football team? The defending champs in our home. Interesting to see how our fans respond too. I hope you show up. Don't be selling a bunch of those damn tickets to the Kansas City crowd and fireman Ed. Let's be loud. Let's get that thing going and never know who you're gonna see at the game.
Dude.
Yeah. You never know who you're going to see at the game. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean that Aaron Rodgers is going to the game?
He said once he can walk, he's out here. He said once he can walk, he's here. Well, listen, the best play Zach made this preseason was the long throw to Malik Taylor that Rodgers was in his headset and said, throw it to Malik. Throw it up to Malik. Right? Like we all saw it.
Yeah, basically he told him to open it up and stop being conservative.
Yeah. Like
to play football.
Here's what I want. Get in the hurry up, because the headset communication to the quarterback cuts off at the 15-second mark. If you run the hurry up and Rodgers is up in the booth and he could see the field, all right, check to this. You're going to have him in the flat wide open. Go. Check, snap, go. Run it. What can it hurt? What can it hurt to get up, lined up early by the 30-second mark? Remember how Peyton Manning used to do it? They were lined up and he would check and read everything. If Rodgers is in Wilson's head, let him do all the checks. Let Rodgers run the checks from the headset. What can it hurt? We know Zach can make throws. Zach's problem is processing what he sees and where it should go. Would you agree with that? I think everyone can agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Zach has arm talent. Zach has an issue processing the defenses because he never saw professional defenses with that BYU schedule. So he's never thrown a college pass against a guy who'd be an NFL cornerback. It's just the truth. But if you got Aaron Rodgers reading it and checking in his ear on what to do, what's wrong with that? If that's his best chance to succeed, let's do it.
Whoa,
you went 0 to 100.
Well, look at this. Look, our offense is abysmal, right? I mean, it's abysmal. It's as bad as it's ever been. It's been 40 years of this. Well, our offense is.
That's a funny comment. You see that comment? All they have is Kelsey, but we'll double team Tony.
Right, of course.
I almost picked coffee with that.
That's exactly what Saleh will do. But my point is, why Cobb is not a dangerous player to the other team. He's slow. He's not dangerous. Why wouldn't you put Hardman or even Xavier Gibson on the field? Let's put people who are dangerous on the field that if they get the ball in space, they can do something. Like, why don't we try to be explosive? Why do we keep doing this? Why is Cobb on the field? The guy is ancient. He's older than Kevin Moran. Is that his name?
You might be older than Kevin Moran. Calm down. You might be older. We don't know that.
Well, you said Kevin was an old guy. So
no, he self-admittedly said it, but you're acting like you're not old. That's
he's as old as me. Fine, he's as old as me. But the point is why is Cobb on the field? If you get him the ball, he's not going to get you any yak. He's not going to break one for a touchdown. But Gibson might. McCole Hardman might. Why aren't we giving ourselves any opportunity on every play to score? It doesn't make any sense.
Come on.
Oh, my God. That's freaking bad.
He's 34. I told you. He's 34. For YouTube, that's old. For YouTube, 34 is old.
34.
See, I told you he wasn't as old as you.
Well, but maybe Cobb is as old as Kevin then. Maybe I'm right.
Yes, Cobb and Moran are the same age.
That's what I said. I said Cobb and Moran are the same age.
There's two places that 34 is old. YouTube and an NFL wide receiver. Okay, I appreciate you again. Please make sure to subscribe. Ryan McCarthy, you as well, if you aren't already. The rest of
my channel. Can they subscribe to my channel? Are they allowed to do that?
Throw it in the.
I mean, I don't have to throw it in there. It's if they. I would hope they know how to spell it. I assume that everybody here does. If you haven't subscribed, I have a channel called Jets Chaos. That's all I'm saying on YouTube, and you can subscribe there too because Nick is there with me every Wednesday night. He'll be there too. We have a show every Wednesday night, 9:00 tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern. Yep. 9 p.m. Eastern.
9 o'clock. We definite.
Yeah.
Okay. That works.
Hopefully I'll be back from the center of town.
Yes. And I always laugh where you live because you have to heckle me with where you live. Cuca, you'll get a kick out of this. If you didn't know, Jeremy lives in Sacramento. He's even heckling me with the town he lives in. Believe this shit? What kind of friend do I have here?
Apparently Sacramento stole your dough. Sacramento stole your dough.
My transportation showed up today to take me to I had to do a knee from the knee surgery. I had to do a follow-up there. And my driveway is like downhill and it's still raining for like 70 straight days here. And if I go to the side of the house, it's flat. So I pointed for the car to go over and get there. He's like, what was wrong over there? I'm like, I lost a toe falling down the stairs a few months ago, man. You think I'm going down a wet driveway? I'm like, no, thank you.
You should eat more salad with tomato.
I wish I could throw you to the Lions. So, listen, I don't think anyone thinks Trevor Siemian's going to change the world, change the trajectory of this team. I think we see Trevor Siemian at some point, probably after the bye. I don't see it before the bye, to be honest with you guys. I think it's Zach's team for the next 3 starts.
I think it's going to be very, very difficult for Zach to lose his job. I think the signing of Trevor shows that. Like, I think just bringing him in, he is in case Zach gets hurt or in case Zach is so bad like he was I guess like he was just this past week, but it continues. Like he'd have to be so bad for them to go to Siemian. Like he'd have to be really, really bad. I mean, like constantly, like no drives. If he does anything in each game, if he does something, he's going to maintain his starting job. They did not get this signing was not to replace Zach Wilson. It was simply to create a better backup option than Boyle. That's all it was. What? You have to shower tomorrow.
You have a show tomorrow.
You have a show tomorrow.
So listen, it's the best thing you can do is give your team an opportunity. Create opportunities. Do an end around. Do a shuffle pass. Do bootlegs. Move the pocket. Find a way to attack the other team because all they're going to do is come out and attack you. We gotta find a way to get a hole for Breece to get through. We know if we can give Breece Hall a hole to get through, he can take off and be electric. But you can't have 9 guys in the box to do that. We don't have that the Hogs of the Redskins in the 80s or the Cowboys line or even the Eagles line now, where we just push guys 5 yards downfield and just run down their throat at will. We don't have that line yet. Create something. That's part of being a coach, man. Is hiding your weakness and exploiting the other team. I don't know. Hopefully Rodgers being here helps. If he's hinting that, then maybe it's already in the plans for him to be here by the weekend. He said about 2 weeks after surgery. Tomorrow's 2 weeks after surgery. Tuesday or Wednesday? Today's Tuesday? Today or tomorrow is 2 weeks after surgery. They said about 2 weeks after surgery, you can start walking.
Yeah,
whether that's in the booth or whether that's on walking on crutches lately.
Yeah, and they could sit him in the booth so he's not on the sideline, like at risk of somebody running wild off the sideline and ramming into him and knocking him over. And
he's definitely a booth.
Right, because you don't want him to be on the sideline. Someone knocks him over, and the next thing you know, he loses a toe. So you have to have him safe in the booth.
Right? We have speed. Now, Ryan McCarthy says it here perfectly. Use Hardman, use Gibson, activate Abanconda. Izzy, utilize the speed you sign and draft to put pressure on the opposing defense. Stop being so passive. Yeah. Come out with Hardman, with Wilson, with Gibson. Do a double reverse. Give it to Gibson coming around. He gives it back to Hardman. Like, do something to freeze and shock the defense. You got to catch them off guard. They're going to play aggressive with us. Use that to your advantage. That's part of coaching. All right, they're going to do this. We'll go this way, and we'll hit them out. You run the jet sweep or the shuffle pass, right? You run that with Hardman or Gibson. Next time, you fake it, you pull it back, and you roll out. Now you got the whole defense thinking it's coming again, and then you hit them, and maybe a tight end drags underneath, and you hit that over the middle. There's ways to create. Like if I'm here and I'm sitting here, the toeless wonder, I can think of this shit. Why can't our coaching staff think of ways to get the guys the ball in space? Zach Wilson standing in the pocket is not going to beat anybody. You have to create ways.
Yeah, it's pathetic. It's
not
pathetic.
As pathetic as your ringtone, you sissy.
The coaching is pathetic. I mean, really, we were going to succeed this season because Aaron Rodgers was going to be the coach, as the offensive coordinator as well as the quarterback, and so we didn't just lose our quarterback; we lost our offensive coordinator.
Andrew, we just played the clip. Yeah, we just played that audio. Andrew, thank you. Thanks for watching. Mo Dean, let's see what you got to say. If you're only a QB away, why not sign a competent QB after Aaron went down? All right, who? I'll play the game. We discussed it earlier in the show. Thank you for watching, too. I hope you're subbed up. Who? Carson Wentz is hated by every locker room he's ever been in. Carson Wentz was not a guy the Jets were bringing into this culture and this locker room. Carson Wentz was out. Matt Ryan has been in a booth Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz had their worst interception to touchdown ratios last year ever. They're not guys that we were going to bring in, guys who were going to want a bunch of money. It's not. There's reasons that there's only about 10 or 12 elite guys in the world that do this job. We went and got one of them. Losing him was going to cripple us. Losing Patrick Mahomes, losing Josh Allen, losing Joe Burrow. They're with Joe Burrow right now, and they can't get it going because his rhythm is off from his shin injury. There's reasons that there's only so many guys who can do this job at an elite level.
I'm not going to lie. I kind of agree with Modine on one thing. I think we have a great roster. I think we have a lot of young talent. Don't get me wrong.
Agreed.
But I think that watching the New England game, and this could change, and I could be overreacting, but after watching that game against New England and watching that game against Dallas and watching Robert Saleh and what he says in those press conferences, I don't believe Aaron Rodgers staying healthy. I believe we would have been good. I believe we would have made the playoffs, but I don't think we were winning a Super Bowl. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is enough. We didn't do enough with our offensive line. The personnel decisions of Robert Saleh are very poor. He won't utilize our talent the right way. He doesn't know what he's doing. And I honestly believe we would have been much better with a healthy Aaron Rodgers, but we weren't the Super Bowl contender I thought we were. Because he would have been using Dalvin Cook still too much. Like, he'd still be making these dumb choices. We'd still be using.
Yeah, but you're not having 8 in the box because you respect the quarterback.
No. I think we would have been a lot better and a real playoff team. But at the end of the day, coaching is still important. And Robert Saleh is not. He has not proved to me that he's a head coach that's capable of leading any team to a Super Bowl.
I mean, we're 2-1 if we have Aaron Rodgers. I don't know the Cowboys game. They just overmatched our line so much. I still think we lose that game. And I think we win. I think we easily win Sunday if we have Rodgers.
We definitely would have beat New England. It has nothing to do with that. I think we could have won 11, 12 games, even 12 games. I think we would have been very good. I just think we would not have been able to beat consecutive wins versus teams like Kansas City, Cincinnati, whoever it is, and then beat a team like Philadelphia. Like, I just don't see it.
No, but say we run the table, right? But let's play the what if, because we don't have a lot of good shit to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Say we beat Kansas City with Rodgers, and then we beat Denver. We'd be sitting 4-0 in the AFC.
Right.
If we lose to the Eagles and we lose to Dallas, that doesn't hurt us. If we could have been 4-2 at the bye, and now Devontae Adams sounds a little pissy out in Vegas already. You're 4-2, and you go add somebody to complement Garrett Wilson. You have to have someone to throw the ball to when Garrett Wilson's doubled and eliminated. They're going to bracket Wilson. Every team is going to do it. We don't have another guy who scares the defense. There was a lot of plays where Zach rolled out, Zach ran away, and Zach had to throw it out of bounds the other day. And you look downfield, and every player has a guy right on them. Like, no one was open. Nobody gets that separation. Hardman could probably do that. Gibson could probably do that. Like, let's create an electric offense with what we have. I don't care if it's shuffle passes, jet sweeps, and end arounds the entire goddamn game. Do something to move the ball 10 yards at a clip. Fake the jet sweep and then do the back pitch to Breece Hall, who now might not have 7 guys in front of him. He might only have to beat 1 or 2, which Breece has shown he can do. Do something to create and execute an NFL fucking offense.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm upset.
But Kuka, in fairness to Modine, he said it all freaking offseason. Modine was screaming that we should get better offensive linemen. It's not good enough. He was mad at the draft pick of Will McDonald. He should have said we traded down, got more picks, bulked up the offensive line. He said it. I can't pretend that he didn't say all this. It frustrates the hell out of me because every time I'm excited in the offseason, he's negative. But then every season he turns out to be right. He was right. He really was. Like, he really was. We did, like, I know it's easier looking back at it. It's easy to be a Monday quarterback or whatever it is, Monday morning quarterback. It's easy to say this now. I wasn't saying it then, so I'm not going to pretend that I knew either. But in the draft and in the offseason, we didn't do the right things other than get Aaron Rodgers, there were other things that we didn't do. We needed to pick up a better third string quarterback or backup quarterback. We didn't do it. I was wrong. I thought Zach would be a fine QB too. I was wrong. For right now, at this moment, I was wrong. When we had the opportunity to bring in a better quarterback, we should have brought in a better quarterback. It should have been done in camp. Even Siemian, Trevor, he should have been here in camp. Like there should have been, whoever it was that we were going to go out and grab should have been here in camp. It shouldn't be happening now.
But
you're in the middle of week
nobody
3.
had going down on play 4 on their bingo card.
I know, but why not have a backup quarterback? Every other team prioritizes having a decent backup quarterback.
I believe that the Jets fully thought mentoring and being in the room game week after game week would help Zach, not being thrown into 5 plays into the season. Like that was part of it, right? It was Zach's going to sit. Zach's going to learn. Rodgers is going to teach him. Rodgers is going to mentor him. That got taken away too. It wasn't like it happened in week 14. It happened on the fucking 4th play. So
look, it's hindsight. I admit it.
Plan got thrown to shit in so many more than one way. It got Rodgers taken off the field. The mentoring got taken away. All of it got stripped out from under our 4-toe foot before it even took off.
Look, I admit that it's hindsight, and it's easy for me to say now, but it's true. Like if I could go back into the past and I had the attention of Joe Douglas and Saleh and tell them Rodgers is going to go down the 4th play, you better go out and get a real quarterback because Zach is literally the worst quarterback in the NFL. It could make a difference if I went back to April or March and they had that warning and they knew, right? I mean, so obviously nobody has that. We can't go back in time. But the reality is there are things that we could have done. If we were all in this season, I love Will McDonald. I think he's going to be a stud. Don't get me wrong. I think we need him next year. I think Lawson's going to be gone, whatever. I'm not saying that. But the reality is, really, the 15th pick in the draft, and he's just going to sit on the sideline, and we're not putting any pressure on the quarterback anyway, and Carl Lawson hasn't done shit anyway? Like, why? Just put him in there. Put him in there. You used the 15th pick on him. Like, why isn't he in there? I don't understand. Carl Lawson is done. He's not good. He's just okay. I'm not going to say he's bad, but he's not great. He's not what we thought he was. Everyone said, oh, well, last year he was getting better from the Achilles. No, it's not that. Watch him. He's not that good. That's why the most sacks he's ever had this season was 7, and that was once. He's not that good. If his name wasn't Carl Lawson, he was just some dude who happened to have a good year once and gotten 7.5 sacks. Will McDonald, your 15th pick, would be in there. Why is Carl Lawson playing? What has he done? I don't understand what he's done. I understand he's good. He puts pressures, but every defensive edge we have puts pressure. We need a closer. We don't have closers. It should be JJ. On pass rush, it should be Huff, JJ, and McDonald. Those should be the 3 guys rotating for pass rush situations. 3rd and 13. It should never be anyone outside those 3 guys. John Myers, 1st, 2nd down. Yes, sure. JFM on 1st and 2nd down. No problem with that. But pass rush specialist, it should be freaking JFM, Bryce Huff, and Will McDonald. It's time for us to utilize our personnel. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Oops.
Carl Lawson was stood up on every play. Go watch the tape. Watch the film. He was stood up on every play. He's not even close to getting to the quarterback.
Who?
Carl Lawson.
Okay. Yeah.
Did I say that?
I would rather have. Yeah. You just glitched.
Oh, okay.
All right. Let's talk D-line. Like I said earlier, I'll say it again. I'd rather trade Lawson now and have Clemens be a bull rushing D end and a more stat run defender than to have Lawson taking reps away from Clemens, JJ, McDonald. Listen, trade Huff too. Huff's going to be gone at the end of the season. Might as well get something for him now, right? If you're going to get a 3rd comp for him, trade him for a 3 now. If you get someone to give him 3 for Huff, you take it and you trade him. Right?
Yeah. I would love to trade either Huff or Lawson. Because, like you said, they're both probably gone next year anyway. I would love it if Lawson was gone because then we wouldn't have to pay him. So
He's done after this year, I believe.
right, we have JFM. We would still have JFM, McDonald, JJ, and Clemens. So we still have 4 really good edges, right? Or if you trade Lawson or Huff, we still have the one that we don't trade. Like if we could trade Lawson right now for a second rounder, is that realistic?
Given that,
Nobody's gonna give
you're
us
getting
up
your 6th or a 7th.
That's how bad he is. He can only get a.
I appreciate you watching, man. Thank you. If you haven't already, please subscribe.
You don't think Carl Lawson is a good enough edge in that position of need to get better than a 6th-round pick?
No.
Then that says how bad he is.
Yeah.
And how overpaid he
That's
is.
what I'm saying. I would take someone else's chef or maintenance building facilities guy. I just don't think he warrants.
What about Bryce Huff? What is he worth?
I think you could, if somebody trading for him because he's young and he doesn't have an awful injury that he hasn't shown that he can't come back from. Lawson, you're probably getting a 6 or a 7. Huff, you could maybe get somebody a 3 or a 4 because then they can to sign the contract, because now you can extend Huff immediately. And now it's a young guy and it's a young investment and it could be worth it. Like Huff for a 3rd, I don't think you're going to have to roll the dice to find a pass rusher like that in the 3rd round.
Well, no, they're not going to replace him.
He's young enough, and he's got it. He doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on his body. He doesn't have a high amount of reps. He's never had a bad injury. No.
If they get Bryce, if they could get a 3rd rounder for Bryce Huff, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah,
you jump at it. You jump at it.
It's a good contract. You're not going to sign a D end in free agency. So if he gets a good contract, it could qualify for a 3rd or 4th and a comp pick.
Well, you know what I do? This is what I would do in a perfect world. In a perfect world, you give me a 3rd-round pick for Bryce Huff. I take our 2 3rd-rounders and trade up for a 2nd-round pick. Now we got our 1st and 2nd-round picks back. We got our 1st-round pick because Rodgers doesn't play. We get our 2nd-round pick that we give to Green Bay, and we get a 1st and 2nd-round piund We could take 2 offensive linemen. We could take a quarterback and an offensive lineman, but we could address some and we could have that future quarterback develop under Aaron Rodgers, whatever it is. But why do we need Bryce Huff this year? I love him. I think he's great. Let him help another team. We don't need him because we're stacked in the position. Let's get a 3rd-round pick. That's so much more valuable because the one thing JD does, I believe, is that I believe he drafts well. I do. I believe that with a 3rd-round pick, we can get someone valuable, or we could take the 2/3 and get a 2nd-round pick and get a real impact player.
No, not even. You could take a 3 and a 5 and move up to mid to late 2nd round, depending on where that 3 is. You don't have to take both 3s. Both 3s you're going early to, but that's down the road.
That's even better. Yeah, but like that's where I'm at now.
Or you trade down from 1 and pick up a 2nd rounder, right? You can trade back if this is a very good class for offensive line. You have Fashanu from Penn State, who's elite. You have Alt from Penn State, who's elite. You got J.C. Latham from Alabama, who's a guard tackle, either one, depending on how you want to use them. There's a tackle from BYU. There's a tackle from Duke. There's a tackle from USC. There's a lot of guys with a round 1 grade. So,
and if you retain Becton, even if you don't retain Becton, you keep AVT. You keep AVT at tackle, and then you draft your next tackle. If you retain Becton, you could always move AVT back in the middle, and then your new tackle is your new tackle that you draft plays with Becton, and those are your tackles. It's a great situation, and then you have Tippmann and AVT back at guard, Becton and some stud tackle playing tackle, and then you go out with your.
And then in the 3rd round, you draft a center, right? Or the guard, like we talked about earlier on the phone,
right?
Like we'll talk draft. Fuck it, like.
We have to.
Everyone's down. Let's talk about it.
We may as well.
So you take a tackle in round 1, okay? And now say with your 3rd, with Tippmann's flexibility, yes, he was drafted to be the center of the future. But he's going to play guard for most of the season, and he graded out pretty goddamn well for his first game at guard on Sunday, right? So now you set your board with centers and guards, and you take who's ever highest rated because Tippmann can play either one. You draft a center, he plays guard. You draft a guard, he plays center. And now you got AVT, Tippmann, and a highly rated guard center from round 3 as your interior O-line. And now you're in a good position. You can cut Tomlinson after June 1st for minimum. I think it's only a $3 million hit. And then you go from there.
And then Aaron Rodgers has a real offensive line in front of him.
Yeah.
He still has
Yeah.
Breece Hall behind him with Michael Carter and Akonda. And then you have Garrett Wilson still. Maybe we pick up in free agency a better wide receiver. We got the Corey Davis money back, so we're not stuck to anything like that.
Yeah.
I guess if you set Hardman free, because what we did to him was cruel.
Only a 1 year deal anyway. He was only 1 year for 6.
Right. Maybe Gibson.
Tops 1 year.
Yeah, maybe Xavier Gibson or Brownlee is ready to step up. But you got to you got Lazard, you got Garrett Wilson. We just need another just solid middle of the road wide receiver, and then you got the kids. You got Lazard and so then you're there. You're there.
Yeah, like you look at. All right, we'll discuss the defense. The needs there. Quincy's under contract. CJ's under contract. Sherwood's under contract. Barnes is just drafted. Sherratt. Linebackers are under contract.
Yeah.
Sauce under contract. Reed under contract. Carter under contract. Eccles still under contract. Safeties.
Adams
would still be on the rookie contract. Yeah. Ashton Davis would be after year 4, right? He came in with Beckman, so he would be a free
anyway. So I mean, who cares?
Yeah. Amos had a 1 year deal. Clark had a 1 year deal, so you need a safety. You could pick one of those in the 4th or 5th round, right?
Yeah, well, Clark will be back.
Or find someone who's got experience in this scheme and bring them in, like you did with a Clark.
Well, I guarantee you Clark will be back. I mean, I don't know what he'll be, but he'll be back. Adams will be back. Whitehead will be back. So we'll have Whitehead, Adams, I mean, whatever. And then you feel like there's nothing, whatever. You fill in the rest of the safety room.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
The defensive line is still
there's
there.
not any major pressing needs. Quinnen's under contract. JJ's under contract. Clemens, McDonald, Jefferson. Were Jefferson and Woods 1 year deals?
Maybe, yeah.
Who would have thought that Jefferson had 2 sacks in the first game, and after 3 games, he'd still be our sack leader?
It's pathetic.
Yeah.
It's pathetic.
So when you look at the defense, you can let Solomon Thomas go, elevate Tanzel Smart. There's not a lot of guys you can pick up defensive tackles who are seasoned anywhere, and get them on the cheap like we did with Jefferson and Woods. So when you look at what we need another receiver. We need a guard and a tackle, or center/guard, an interior lineman. Those are the most pressing center. The center of the offense.
I love that Tippmann.
Oh, QT, you're right. I'm sorry. I
love that Joe Tippmann is just gonna we could pencil him in as our guard, left or right guard, for the next 7 to 10 years. I love that.
Him and Vera Tucker, right? You wanted Vera Tucker to finally get a goddamn home. He's eligible for an extension after this year. It's after his 3rd season, amazing. So he's eligible for a contract extension. I feel bad that they keep having to maneuver him around, but the same with Tippmann. If we weren't drafting guys that have this positional flexibility, we'd be in deeper shit than we already are.
Yeah.
Thank God we're drafting guys who can play different positions.
Yep.
So, it sucks. This is not where any of us expected to be. This is not what any of us wanted. This is not what any of us envisioned. But the main thing is the coaching staff keeping the team together. And I said earlier when the show first started, there weren't many people here. I'll say it again now. Please don't attack the players and the coaches and attack them on the social media sites, man, because everything that this organization has done to change the culture and make it a place that players want to come to, 6 months of Jets fans being dicks on social media can all ruin that real quick. And players talk to one another. They'll be like, this place ain't worth coming to, man. One guy gets hurt and now the whole fan base turns on you. It's a bad look. Call me. Text me. Attack me. Go ahead. I like arguing with people. I'm pretty goddamn good at it. Attack me. So it's sad. It's sad, man. We all had really big hopes. And unfortunately it got taken out from under us. So what do you guys say in closing, pal? Anything?
Look, I mean, the reason we are talking about these things is because the reality is Aaron Rodgers is gone till next year. We're all being realistic. Our real shot at ending this misery in our lives is when Rodgers comes back next year. So we're already thinking about the things that we're going to have to put in place and fix for Aaron Rodgers to be able to do that. And Aaron Rodgers is not going to be able to be our savior. He's not going to be able to win a Super Bowl if we don't fix these things. If we don't fix those things on the offensive line, ain't nothing going to happen. It's the offensive line. No quarterback is better than the offensive line. No quarterback can overcome an offensive line that plays the way ours did those first 2 weeks. I'm glad they played better last week. And if they were all young guys that were going to be here for the next 5 years, I wouldn't be worried about it. But the problem is Laken Tomlinson is inconsistent. He's not going to be able. He hasn't proven he could play like that every week. Connor McGovern's in the winter of his career, and Dwayne Brown is gone, and Becton's not even signed. He's going to be a free agent. So the reality is we have to start thinking about how we're going to maintain what we saw last week. Because what we saw last week from that offensive line would be enough for Aaron Rodgers to do very well.
Yeah. You know me. As bad as things can be, I always try to put a positive spin on it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Rodgers getting hurt allows this team to see some other weaknesses that they still have and address them. And then go in next year with an all-in mentality. Because now it's the 1 year window. And you go in and you draft a tackle in the draft. You get a guard/center in the draft, and you free up some bad contracts. You get out of the Tomlinson deal. The Brown deal's gone. Becton won't be at $9, $10, $11 million a year anymore. Maybe you bring him back on something cheaper. CJ's contract is close to being done. There's a lot of Lawson's contract will be gone. There's a lot of money that can open up. And someone like Gibson can take Cobb's spot or Hardman's spot. There's another $5.5 million down, right? Going from Hardman to Gibson in a bigger role. Brownlee stepping in, maybe, So let these young guys develop a little bit and get as much play as they can this year, and go from there.
Yeah.
I don't think they're trading away any draft picks to bring in somebody like a Kirk Cousins. I said that. There's no way you're giving up a third rounder and losing your 2 and a 3 to go into a next season without having that guy on the roster. There's no way. There was no way. So I want to thank everyone for watching. Join us tomorrow night, 9 o'clock on Jets Chaos channel. And as always, as difficult as may be loud, be proud, New York Jets fans.
Oi, I hurt my back, and it really hurts, and I don't know what I'm going to do, Nick. I have to get some ice.
This is producer JR, and you are watching the proud New York Jets fan show. Now give it up for my boy Nick.
Rodgers is a Jet. Let's go!
This for my special delivery. Spit like this, get my wrist all glittery.
Can't wait.
Get kicked, snakes get slithery. Lean in, show y'all the mean and the chivalry.
Let's make sure we play like the New York Jets.
Right jab like Zab Judah. Every member on my team is a shooter. Tight like a womb, no room for intruders. Spark, twisted in Philly.
Give it up.
Good humor. Don't be silly, it's gravy, baby. I got it all smothered.
Let's go
like
to eat a
makeup.
damn snack.